Warrior. On this Monday morning, I want to welcome you, but I also want to talk about something that I think is very disturbing and in the headlines today, and that is waking up to hear about the death of 36-year-old actress, performer. She was also a great singer, a young woman named Hayden Panettiere. Now, you might say, why does this even matter? We don't want to hear about this. It matters tremendously. Hayden is from my home state of New York. She was a brilliant child actress managed by her mother from a very young age. I mean, she's just been in show business her entire life. She started out in soap operas and then she graduated into commercials. She also was in a show that was very popular called Heroes, and a show I just actually binged on about a year ago called Nashville. I had never watched it when it was originally on, so that was one of my binging shows. I caught up and I thought, wow, this young woman is really talented. Now, throughout the years, I heard stories. Remember, my background, everyone, is entertainment. I worked in the music business straight out of school and have produced Broadway shows and worked on film scores and commercials, all that jazz, right? Before I became a warrior and decided this is my calling and passion. But I heard some rumors from different associates, colleagues I have over the years about her troubled life. It was certainly in the press about domestic violence, about abuse at a very young age in Hollywood, about older women in Hollywood, offering her to men, all this stuff. She has a daughter who was her, I'm not sure if he was her husband or her boyfriend. There's conflicting reports. He was granted custody, I believe. I believe this girl is a young teen now, and this is a tragic end. But here's what I want to say about something. I firmly believe, with life knowledge and my career on my shoulders, I want to say something, and that is no children belong in show business. We've got a lot of parents. Again, her mother, Hayden's mother, was her manager, living vicariously through their children. That pull towards, we're going to be famous and we're going to make money and you're going to be on TV. I just saw a clip. Warrior on with Rosie O'Donnell. I'm trying to think. Rosie was on in the, I think it was like late 90s. Yeah, so she would have been about 8 years old singing a Britney Spears song. Everybody clapping for her. And I think it was Baby One More Time. Totally inappropriate, really, for an 8-year-old. And everybody cheering her on. But here's what I want to say. We have all this AI, artificial intelligence, we're warning about, we're talking about. Again, a reminder, as I always like to say, that we at the Warriors are pro-innovation, pro-technology. We just want some guardrails. We want the reality. We want kids and families safe. Here's what I say. I am proposing at the Warriors, then we use AI for children in shows and movies, all that. Drastic, you might think, but I'm saying no child should be involved in show business. Any of that. It is full of predation and exploitation, okay? Hollywood, I put in quotations, because when I say Hollywood, I include, to me, that's also the music business, Broadway, and all of it, right? Is equals predation, exploitation. Children don't belong in it. Parents don't belong pushing their children. Again, there's parental autonomy. I can't tell you what to do with your kids. I just know from experience, things I've witnessed, things I've heard, things I've seen as far as the destruction of, gifted young performers like a Hayden, like an Amanda Bynes, who used to be on a show, All That, on Nickelodeon. So gifted, as an 8, 9, 10-year-old, what she could do in these sketches and skits. Let's use AI for kids. I'm very serious about that. And realistic. So before you say, oh, well, the AI could create kids doing bad things. Remember, we have algorithms here on the YouTube, so I won't use certain words, but but have a realistic accounting of AI, using it for young performers and not have the real kids too many lives. I mentioned Britney Spears. Look at what's happening to her these days. Countless stories of young performers, just too much to talk about. There is a war on for our children, whether it's happening in your community, it's happening in Hollywood, it's all around us. And by virtue of the internet, we have to admit where it's being more showcased, it's become more normalized, more habituation to this, more in one ear, out the other. But I'm here to tell you, let us really pray for Hayden Panettiere, gifted performer, did all her own singing in Nashville, the show. put some albums out, had a lot of hits. No matter what, she had a troubled life. She had a mother who stepped away from her by all accounts. She put out her book a few months ago. It was very sad. I read excerpts from it and about her life. We cannot allow our children to be abused like this. So step up. Join me. I'm not talking about a child performing maybe in a school play, community-based, that type of thing, where if you're going to do any of this, even at the community level, we need parents in the rooms. Don't leave your kids unattended. Many of the stories I heard from Broadway and from Hollywood where parents just, drop their kids off. Yes, there's supposed to be, tutors on the set and guardians on the sets, but abuses still happen because when people are dependent, let's face it, warriors, on a paycheck, they're not going to rock the boat. So let's all come together, protect our kids, pray for Hayden and all the kids out there. Let's use AI innovation in these shows and movies and for music and not let our true, precious, real kids participate in any of this exploitation. Hayden and all the kids don't deserve any of this abuse. We don't know, we don't have really what happened to Hayden, except 36 years old. Many young people grew up with her as a child performer right through, her 30s. And again, the mental toll on them, thinking, oh, what happened to her? The outcome remains to be seen, what actually did happen to her. But what I will finish up with and tell you, she was with an on-again, off-again boyfriend who I believe she had a restraining order against because there were so many stories in the past about domestic violence. I remember reading one time she finally broke free of him. So what was she doing just 48 hours ago? Leaving Los Angeles with him, traveling. I believe it was North Carolina or South Carolina. What happened? What's the story? Will we ever know? Don't let your kids be part of show business. Not worth any amount of money or what you call fame. You know what's being famous? Being a kid. Community creates change. Lynn'sWarriors.org. Remember, when you wake up each and every day, go out and be a warrior.